Hey, what's up, guys? So we're back here at SEMA at the Redenso booth with a lot of the crew here at Redenso. You guys all want to say hi and let everybody know what you guys do with Redenso?
Sure.
Yeah.
So I'm Jonathan. I am the president and CEO of Redenso Radar.
Yep.
My name's Mindy. I'm the Chief Sales Officer here at Redenso.
I'm Randy. I'm the e-commerce director at Redenso.
Perfect. And so you guys, I know, have been pretty busy as far as lots of new changes, things going on behind the scenes. And so I was just kind of curious to hear, what have you guys been up to the past year or so? What's been going on with Redenso lately?
This SEMA has been a really interesting one for us, and a special one in a lot of ways. A year ago, we were essentially a direct-only company. A lot of you guys were familiar with us from the forums, maybe a little bit on Amazon, not too much until Randy over here got involved. But we had no real install product, no brick and mortar distribution. We weren't carried at big retailers. So over the last year, as we've grown, we've really tried to hone in on why we do what we do, which is to make countermeasures that you and we like using, love using really, and then scaling that through getting into some of the bigger retailers, talking to dealers, talking to the people that use our products and understanding why they like what they like, and then trying to deliver on that.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. I know you guys have like a new package now, speaking of which, for the dealers, the installers.
Yeah.
So for the RCM, tell me about this.
So this is actually Mindy's idea, and I mean, go ahead.
Not mine. It was a group collaboration. So we travel a lot, and not just myself, but John and Randy and I and a bunch of us looking for dealer feedback and what the consumer, ultimately you guys are looking for in the custom installed product. And it's interesting because whether you live in Seattle or you live in Cincinnati or New York or Miami, it doesn't matter where you live. You all have certain basic needs that you're looking for, but from when it comes to settings and functions and features, that's where it starts to get a little bit different. And then also from the installer's perspective, there are certain things where we felt there was definitely an opportunity that was being missed. So as we were traveling this last year, we really asked every single person we came across, like, if you could build the most epic radar detector that was built in, like, what would it look like for you? Not just from a hardware perspective, but from software and going through features. And obviously you guys,
warranty,
the
package,
everything from stem to stern. We really went through and really revamped it, what we call the Ultimate Edition. And it's a product that's available only at a select few handful of dealers in the U.S. only. It has a 5-year warranty and a 5-year ticket-free guarantee. So it essentially is the RCM with front and rear radar, and it has the ALP 3 RX heads up front and the 2 RX heads in the rear. So from a hardware perspective, it's something that you guys are already familiar with, but then putting the 5-year ticket-free guarantee and a 5-year warranty with it, was like, whoa, that's pretty awesome. Because it takes a great product, but then making it even better. And what's also cool is by having it installed at a Platinum dealer, which is the only place where it can be installed at, and the only shop that would carry it. Let's say you install it this year on your 911 Turbo, but in 2 years from now you're sick of that 911 and you want to get a GT2 or a whatever car you want to buy next. As long as a Platinum dealer uninstalls it and reinstalls it, your warranty carries with you for all 5 years instead of take a free guarantee, which is kind of awesome. So again, thinking about, like, we're all enthusiasts here and we all like to go fast, and that's something that we feel like we shouldn't be gypped out of that. Like, we paid for that 5-year warranty, so why not have it carry with us? So, and like simple things like this, having all your serial numbers lined up here, so when it comes time to do your software updates, right, or ALPupdate.com, and you're like, oh, what are my serial numbers, or those like sort of nuances, we understand are important. Put that in your glove box and have it with you at all times. Everything from the tapes that we use here for the installers. So JK tapes are included with everything. 1 roll of interior, 1 roll of exterior.
and that's the real exact same European automotive tape that the OEMs like BMW and Mercedes wrap their wires in.
Yeah.
So it's that concept of make the install invisible, make it look OEM.
Yeah.
So it's not ugly. It's something that, as an enthusiast, you look at and say that's really cool.
Yeah, it looks like
I feel like that's worth
It
the money.
came from the
factory,
factory.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Another cool thing too is from an installer's perspective is how do you make it look super clean and not just VHB tape, call it done, right?
The way I would do it.
That's fine, right?
I'm not pro.
Well, you have to pull them in and out all the time.
I do.
So we include an acrylic template that was fabbed, exclusively for the RCM. Voila. So that your fab shop can actually make a super, super clean looking install without having to worry about, compromising the interior for it. So again, just those sort of like little things that we think about from the fab perspective that, we know other folks aren't doing. And it really really sets us apart. Other things too, like Adams Polishes gift card, the Blip Shift T-shirt gift card,
The hat.
yeah,
All that's for the
Snapback.
consumer, that we
Yeah.
give it, we build it into our cost and give it to the dealer with the idea that if you're buying a product like this should be a fun experience for you. I mean, let's be honest, these high-end detectors, they're not inexpensive. And I know when I bought my first one, it was partially an emotional purchase as well. I thought it was cool. I liked my car. I wanted to get it. So you coming up with these ways to make the customer even more happy by making it a whole experience with a gift card, a hat. It's just something that we've had a really good reception to.
It might be small things, but it's kind of cool. Somebody thought about that, So there's currently less than 25 shops nationwide that you can get it installed at, but from coast to coast, it is available. You can go to Redenso.com and check out to see our ever-changing list of platinum dealers. But yeah, we're super excited about that.
And then, so I know you're also working on like getting into more stores now as well.
Yep.
Right? So tell me a little bit about that and how that's going.
So it really is remarkable to me to see how things have snowballed over the last year. Because as I said, a year ago we were essentially a direct-only company. But as word spread about the products, as consumers started leaving positive reviews, all of a sudden the big box retailers were calling. Mm-hmm. And we've always controlled our pricing really well. We don't let people that aren't authorized sell. We try to allow everybody to play fair. And because of that, in the last year, we've gotten into, I think,
Apps, Crutchfield, Car Toys, in Canada, Visions. We just opened distribution in the Southern Hemisphere. We have Australia, New Zealand in the last year. China is just confirmed.
Just kicking in now, yeah.
Yeah, that will be official. I'll make an official statement about that in end of November. But yeah, we're really excited about the idea of taking this brand and growing it really strategically, and we're not trying to be the biggest overnight. We're looking at the pockets of where do we have the right people in the right places, the right distributors or the right rep networks or the right shops. And there's definitely places where, we don't have the right shop. And so why try to put a square peg in a round hole and, we need to have a shop there to install our products. No, we don't.
We'd rather just send you to somewhere that we know is going to do a good job.
Yeah, exactly. Or buy it on Redenso.com. And, we don't, we really want to push you back to a shop to have it, purchased at, but that's not always the case, especially if you're in some more of the remote parts of the country,
Yeah. And I think it's been interesting too, because the retailers that we've recently gotten into, for example, Car Toys, they're carrying the whole product line and they're loading into 50, 60 storefronts.
You go to Car Toys now and buy it.
Yeah, and Crutchfield's a really big name. These are not usually accounts that new companies just get in, but really the other big change in our company over the last year is we've just grown a lot. We've hired a lot of really good team members, and I think it's a credit to Randy and to Mindy.
Yeah.
Randy doing an amazing job controlling the pricing, making sure everyone plays fair, and then Mindy managing those relationships and helping people understand there's value to a customer to be able to walk into a retail storefront and get a product that they know is going to work and that they know we stand behind completely.
Yeah. I know you guys have been selling a lot on Amazon as well, and I know you've been really active with that. So how's that been going?
It's been growing great. We have great amount of reviews from end consumers, and these are consumers that they're not complete enthusiasts. They want something they can just plug in, mount to their windshield, and not worry about it. And everyone's just loving it. We've gotten great reviews, and it's really spreading the word about detectors, about our brand and everything. Yeah, it's great.
I know the Redenso SP is doing well there, and I've actually been. So I just put that on my website as like my best budget detector. I used to consider the Unity DFR6, but that's going away now, and I'm looking at the SP, and I'm like, that's less than $200, good VSM filtering, like reasonably good performance. I mean, that's a nice detector too. So
yeah, I mean, to get a detector with $200 with a 1-year radar ticket-free guarantee, it's really hard to beat that.
And that level of filtering.
Yeah,
and really
plus the
important
filtering is great too.
So that applies. So people get the ticket-free guarantee even if they buy it on Amazon. They don't have to buy it direct.
Correct.
Off your website, right?
Yes.
That's cool.
And they also get it if they buy the dash mount through one of our dealers.
Oh,
and
dealers too.
that's something that not all companies do.
Yeah.
Traditionally, companies want to take all the sales for themselves.
Higher margins, you don't have to distribute
Yeah, and I do
yeah.
understand that. Don't get me wrong, I like making money.
Sure.
But if somebody's going to take a chance and bring in our product, support us as a team, that means a lot to me, just even from a relationship standpoint. So I don't want to take money out of their mouths for us. I say, you know what? Yes, we'll cover it even if they buy it from you.
That's
It's
cool.
just part of building the relationship for the long haul, essentially.
Yeah. So how about, I guess, maybe moving on to like the Pro M and the RCM? I know you guys released a firmware update recently, and I've been liking it. Just kind of help refine the detectors, and yeah, I've been really liking that. So tell me about kind of the update process you guys have been working on for the higher end detectors.
So really, honestly, it's been driven by your feedback, but also the forum feedback. If you look at the changes that we made, they pretty much address most of the common complaints that people have out there.
Yeah.
And that's really a reflection of the type of company that we want to be. I'm an enthusiast, you're an enthusiast, but
I'm not.
well, you're the enthusiast.
I'm
but-
just another enthusiast.
But to be completely honest with you, even if we all think we know what we're doing and we're great, even if we had 100 people working for us, we're not going to think of everything, and we're not going
it's a
to
group
find every
thing.
bug or figure out every feature. There's been use cases that I've discovered from forum members that I never in a million years would have used the product that way myself. But if it's not super expensive for us to go ahead and make that change, the's no downside to it.
And
from our
things that he'll come
perspective.
across in Seattle, we'll never experience
Exactly.
on
And
East
vice
Coast.
versa.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I know, like all the MRCD stuff, I can't really test that
Yeah.
other than turn it on and see how the
Yep.
falsing is.
Yeah.
That's about all I can do, you know? It
Yep.
depends on the other guys in Edmonton or in Chicago, wherever, who see that stuff. And so
Maryland.
it really is. In
Yeah.
Maryland, yeah, it's a group effort to make all this stuff happen.
Yep.
And I like that you guys are actually listening to your customers, and the updates are based on what we, as your customers, are asking for. So thank you.
We're not perfect. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
nobody is.
Look, I wish we could do it faster, or devote more resources to it, but at the end of the day, we know where we want to be, and we're going to get there, and we can't do it alone. And I think that's where the community comes into it.
Yeah. So what else is new that we haven't talked about yet that maybe you'd like to share?
I think other than having that new platinum tier dealer, which again, trying to give a level of security to the consumer at home that they're going to get a good job. We have the ultimate kit, the firmware updates. It's really just been about kind of scaling the business.
Yeah.
And
I think for us, well, I guess I'll speak to my end. When it comes to the dealer network, we've gone from a year ago to almost a non-existent, brick and mortar,
one or two.
existence to over 200 retailers in North America. That's huge.
That's huge.
And my background, I did not grow up in the 12 volt or radar detector industry. I grew up using all the stuff, but not like these guys. And which is cool. It keeps us grounded for a lot of reasons. The interesting piece about it is, how do you take all of their knowledge that they have and bridge it in hybrid with the rest of the world who's not as sophisticated of the user,
Or doesn't
let's be
have
real.
the time to research everything.
Yeah, it doesn't want to.
Yeah.
How many people just say, I just want to put it on my windshield, I want to plug it in, I want the most, epic detector possible, but I don't want to have to mess with all the settings. There's a lot of folks that are out there like that. And so when you're speaking about 200 brick and mortar shops, not just in North America, but also around the world, and then still providing the same level of service that hopefully you guys experience, in a digital format, whether it's on RD Forum or whether it's on, YouTube or whether it's on Redenso.com or Amazon or whatever, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. That providing that same epic experience in a face-to-face level with all of our dealers has been really, really important to us, because I really felt that you could have, with our competition, you could have a really good product or you could have a really good service, but to provide both is something that's really, really near and dear to us. And to take the feedback from every single person that we encounter in the day, whether it's here or in person, on the track. I mean, we spend a lot of time on track days, right? Going fast, and
It's true.
we'll just be shooting the breeze and talking about radar detectors because that's what we do. And the feedback that we get from there, hanging out in shops and talking about amps and subs and radar detectors, and
Just immersing ourselves in that world.
yeah, and we hear every single thing that you guys say, and it's not BS. And this Ultimate Edition kit exists because of your guys' feedback. Firmware software updates exist because of your guys' feedback, and
The KI segmentation, stuff like that. Like, that's all requested that
Yeah.
we built
Yeah.
into it.
and that, if you can imagine that at your guys' level, but then also, please hold. So if you multiply the experience that you guys have times the dealer network of the size that we have, that's really been an epic thing that we're proud of this last year. Satisfaction online, in stores, and providing the best products over this last year. Something we're super stoked about in the next year.
I think we're supposed to do that.
Sorry,
I think
we're not supposed to have fun.
One of the biggest questions that we always have regarding the future, whether it's a future product or what, even just this industry is going to look like. What's been fun for me during this process of scaling this business while developing new things is that we actually don't have a lot of experience in the traditional 12-volt or radar industry. So, we've all had enthusiast experience, but I have a music degree. Randy has a background of being really successful running more traditional e-commerce operations. Mindy was essentially an Apple sales executive who ran retail store. I mean, how many salespeople did you manage at Apple?
600?
Yeah, and you saw what the Apple philosophy was like from a retail standpoint, through the products, through the service. So we're kind of looking at things of, pretend for a minute that we're not just trying to be a great radar detector company. We want to be an amazing company that makes countermeasures, right? So all of those things play into what our plans are going forward, the type of people that we hire, the type of relationships that we have with our retailers, and that philosophy will flow through not just to our service, but ultimately to the types of products we have too. I think it's important to remember that we've only been doing this a year, and we've launched 4 SKUs, some of which were already under development before we had control of the company. So what's really exciting to me, and the reason that I go home right after 8 hours of talking to people here and log on to RD Forum for another 2 hours, is because the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, it's truly deeply exciting to me.
And even so far, I mean, watching you guys grow and develop and what you're doing with these detectors, like, you're making awesome products already, and you're listening to your customers, and you continue to get better.
We're not perfect, but we try.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You guys are actually listening, and that is such a big deal. Like, nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. Nobody is. But the way that you guys are growing and moving forward is awesome, and it makes me excited just to watch you guys do your thing.
It feels really easy for us because we're enthusiasts. We love what we do. When I go to work every day, I have fun, and and I have some awesome friends for coworkers. So to us, it doesn't even feel like a job most of the time. It's so enjoyable, and being a previous enthusiast helps a bit too.
Yeah.
So
And chances are, if it's a complaint that you guys have, right, in a testing world or forum world or whatever,
We've seen it too.
Yeah, and it's probably a frustration too, or something that we wish we could change, or that we look at too for the the next sketch of products, right?
Yeah.
So when you look at next gen products, it's like not just refining this through software and firmware, but also the next level, from a hardware perspective, right? We're always thinking 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, right? How a good business should think, and what would that look like, and what would that be? I think that's.
And one thing that's fun for me too, kind of building off that, is at least I'm just speaking for myself personally, I've always been a hardware enthusiast. I mean, I remember even building computers when I was younger, just looking at the circuit board and saying, this is incredible, how does this work? How can we modify it or tweak it? And I just enjoyed that. Just on a purely selfish level, I enjoy hardware. And yes, software is extremely important, but building off kind of the Apple influence that we have is, I respect Apple as a company, and I like what they've done, and they make a lot of money off software. But it was picking up that first iPhone, seeing the difference between a flip and the first iPhone. Oh my goodness, what could this evolve into? This hardware is incredible. That's what drove value to the App Store, especially back when they were first gaining prominence, innovating to create new categories like the iPhone. That's why everybody looks at the App Store today as an incredible thing. But if nobody had iPhones, if nobody had iPads, software's not worth much.
That's true.
And as an enthusiast, I just love hardware, and I want to make the absolute best hardware in the world. Do we do it now? Some people think so, some people don't, but I know we can do a better job, and we'll get there, and we're going to have fun doing it.
Cool. Well, I'm excited to see kind of what you guys are going to be continuing to create and all the fun you're having along the way. So, thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks. Cool. All right, and thanks, guys. Thanks for watching.
Are those the ones that you asked not to do it?
Yeah, and I guess all the people around, they got excited, and they're like, oh, crank up the music.
Tots out, tots out.
Okay, yeah.
hey, we forgot
I
about
wish we
Vortex.
could just rev this thing and drown them out.
Seriously.
Get kicked out of
In a
SEMA,
noise
though,
war.
Yeah.
Music timeout.
Outtakes.
Outtake time. Seriously.
Hey, happens to do like
never
the
seen him
monster
dance
over
before.
behind the background.
Hey guys, want to see an awkward dance?